It's a new club, it's a new start. Anyone who's guessed from the badge on the thumbnail where we are, congratulations you've got way too much time on your hands. Now, we are going to zoom in to our new home. Brace yourselves. We're in Western Europe. We're heading for the little principality of Luxembourg, surrounded by European giants and Belgium. It's the southwestern corner of Luxembourg. There's places like Petange, Differdange, Oberkorn, Niederkorn. I'm presuming there might be a River Korn. It's the little town of Niederkorn that we've zoomed in on, and up here, the Stade Jos Halper, which is our new home, and is the home of Progrès Niederkorn, who recently in real life have been relatively regular European contenders. It's our job to make them European contenders again and solve an absolute ton of debt. Well, we are still on the tail end of June and I've got a new job. I did have to answer a lot of awkward questions about why I'd spent no more than a year at any of the previous 3 clubs, but I've made promises that I won't go applying for jobs while I'm under contract, and I had a tough decision to make. We got an offer from a team called Petralska in the Slovak 2nd Division. I've never managed in either Slovakia or Luxembourg, so hopefully we can do something here. It was quite the toss-up between the two. They are both about 1.3 million in the red. Both have a lot of players out of contract in about 3 days' time. And both are decent for the division they're in. But of course that might depend heavily on being able to get those players who are there back again. The first thing that swung it was that Progrès are top flight. So there is, if we do well, a shot at European football. And the other thing was that Petralska, butchered that one, probably both times, were significantly over their wage budget already. So that's the decision we've made, and now I've got to live with it. I think either way it was probably going to be a bit of a challenge to keep the quality of the squad, but both did want sort of decent progress, so we've got things to aim for here and hopefully something in place for us to get those targets achieved. But both do actually want their finances repaired as well, and I'm not entirely sure how we do that unless of course with Progress we qualify for Europe, in which case we should be golden. We're expected to finish top half, and we are about the 7th best team according to the pre-season odds. We start at home to Yellow Boys, who are one of the lower ranked sides in the division, and we had a lot of work to do when we got here because we were right up against our wage budget and had serious gaps in the squad. And we're using a tactic I've never tried before, and we've been a little cheeky with it. Well, not necessarily the tactic, but with something else. I'll come on to that in a minute. However, we have had so many trialists, hundreds of trialists, and generally speaking we have managed to find some people to fill the gaps in this squad. As you can see, basically no one's gone out, no one wants our players. We have a deal going with French club Sochaux, who I haven't really leaned on. I probably should have done a bit more. But unfortunately, part of that is down to the fact that the players they loaned us last season, they didn't want to loan us again. I was like, well, that's nice, you know, it was supposed to be an affiliate. They were unwilling to do that, so I was kind of... I didn't know if they were going to loan us anyone else this season. But we've sort of got round the problem. We did have, I mean, you can't see them on here, but we had also a couple of our better players thought they were too big for the club and wanted to move. So they have gone. And I'll be honest, I can't quite remember their names. But the reason we're playing the tactic we're playing was because that was what the club seemed to play last season. So I thought, right, well, they probably know a bit of that, so we'll go with it. What it meant was we didn't really need wide players. Of the people we have brought in, Nicolas Perez, Glenn Protin, Arthur Ataidi, and Pericles Duarte basically revamped entirely our forward line. We're playing two up front. Cedric Sacras is a fullback. Lucas Prudhomme is sort of like our attacking midfield. He's not really the creative force necessarily. He's one of the creative forces, but he's not the sort of creative force. Bon Giovanni is a backup in that position. Zé Lopez is kind of the creative force. We have an advanced playmaker in central midfield. Theo Sueur was quite the story, because we had him on trial and we saw that he was good. He would be very good at fullback, and then we lost out to Leca or Lessa or however it is. If they're Portuguese, I don't know how you pronounce one of those C's with a cedilla. And then we hunted around for other fullback options, and fullback was our real Achilles heel. It was the one position we couldn't seem to get any quality in. And then we sort of had a look and thought, well, hang on, he seems to be available for loan, and he's by far the best fullback we've got. At least he should be. Lufundu is a backup centre-back option. Charles Morin, I was trolling around for people we might be able to loan in, and he can cover a multitude of the positions we play, which I'll show you what they are in a minute when we look at the tactic. And yeah, he's just, again, we're not paying any of his wages. He is a very useful player for us, in so much as, like I say, he covers quite a bit. You know, he might even be in the starting lineup. He is in the starting lineup. Right, this tactic, ta-da! It's the 4-4-2 Diamond Narrow, which, like I say, they played last season. Now, the sensible amongst you will think, well, you've got no width. We have solved that problem by, when the groundsman came to us asking what dimensions did we want the pitch, we told him, make it as narrow as you possibly can, because it specifically said that it will leave no real room for wide players. So obviously everyone else's wide players are going to be restricted, and we barely have any. Yay! Genius. So, we'll give you a little bit of a look at a couple of our signings. I mean, Prudhomme got some decent numbers there. Lacks balance, might fall over in a stiff breeze, but now Zé Lopez, who's our sort of creative thing, as long as he doesn't have to move, he's probably fine. So we just need people to give him the ball and him ping passes, because his technique and technical sort of attributes and mental attributes are good for this level, very good, pretty much for this level. He just can't really move of his own volition. Now, the centre-backs we had when we got here, I was very happy to have a couple of solid centre-backs. I mean, decent, good, physical player, 6'4", absolute beast. And Punier, who is our captain, again, quality physicals, good at, solid at everything. And yeah, on quite a wage for us, but the boy is worth it. And that was a reduction in his wage. He was on like about 18,000 last year or something, so I got him to take a slight pay cut. And yeah, I mean, Charles Morin, as I said, who was quite versatile. Again, solid at everything, reasonable physicals. We've got quite a few older players because that's what seemed to be available, and they're really does seem to be a thing about Portuguese men in their 30s coming to Luxembourg. It's very odd. If you look at the squad, I mean, Zé Lopes is a 34-year-old Portuguese. I haven't signed that many of them because I was put off quite a lot by their physicals, because they seem to sort of come here and treat it as a retirement home. Let us open the season. As you can see, some people still learning the tactic. I mean, the likes of Moran, quite new here. But we have been trying to get people in. Obviously, we played a lot of friendlies, but with so many trialists, very often it was suggesting putting trialists in. And unless I thought I was really going to sign them, I was reluctant to do so. But we also played so many games that had I played the people that we actually owned, then they'd have been absolutely shattered by this point. So I had to kind of rotate as best I could. You don't want to know about my problems in friendlies. Right. The players don't really listen to me at all, because they don't think I'm good enough to be here, really. But amongst themselves, they're perfectly happy. And, you know, they know each other and they get on and they're happy to be here at the moment. Oh, that's interesting. Wonder what's going to happen with that. Because we have him marking... I don't know who he will mark, if he will try and mark one of them or both of them, which could cause him all sorts of metaphysical problems, probably. Right, here we go. As you can see, we are yellow and black, as of course you can probably guess by the badge on the thumbnail, which does actually seem to have some sort of nasty looking insect on it, so they're really quite open about how, probably looks like some sort of hornet or something. Really very open about their hornety style. We're trying to play a nice controlled passing game, and that right there is a prime example of what we've been doing all pre-season. We create some really good... Oh, hello. Oh, my word! What was the goalkeeper doing there? That was awful. Yeah, we tend to create some really good chances, and we hit some of the weakest finishes you'll ever see in your life. And several of these players have got decent finishing. I mean, what on earth did you do, man? I mean, thanks, but wow. Yeah, that was not good. Okay, Zé Lopes. See, again, our sort of creative talent probably takes corners as well. Oh, off the bar. So, yeah, I think we're going to be relying quite a bit on Zé Lopes. Not for long, because, like I say, he's 34, and don't think we're going to see much of him beyond this season. You could have brought that down. You should have brought that down, or just let it run through to the goalkeeper, rather than heading it back towards someone of their team who could actually get it. Cross-field passes, of course, are going to be a lot easier on this pitch because there's not much field to cross. As you can see, the little thing that says you've got to be 10 yards from the corner, several yards inside the penalty area. That's how narrow our pitch is. And we also didn't want to make it too long, so we restricted... Lucas Prudhomme! Playing well, boys. I know they're one of the weaker sides, but we are playing well. It's good to see. It's nice to get off to a decent start. Look, Protein. It's in there. And Prudhomme is an attacking midfielder on attack, so he's hopefully going to provide like sort of a third prong to getting in the box. And I am happy with this start. It's always so much nicer when you've spent several weeks, and because of the speed this game sort of runs at, because there's so many leagues loaded, it does take quite a while to work through just a few weeks of pre-season when you're trying to analyse players. Oh, hello. Goalkeeper committed himself and then instantly regretted it. And Protein. And our loney Theo Sir with the ball forward. Knocks it in there. Goalkeeper regretted his decision and then decided to dive under the ball. Brilliant. Well done. We've allowed them a little bit of action, but dominating possession. We had a very good pre-season because I did my usual of playing weak opposition. Right, well that was a very good... Right, we are controlling the ball so far. Please keep doing that and don't go rubbish simply because I told you you're doing quite well. Okay. Oh, hello. Right. Oh, go on. No, that's fine. That's fine. If he scores from there, he deserves it, probably. Yeah, see, again, look at this. Look at this backing off. Right. Oh, now just accidentally clicked no pressure, and they're not happy with that. You see, never tell them they're doing well. Look at this. Look at this half-arsing it in the second half. Right. I'm going to demand more. I know you're 3-0 up, but you've just backed off completely. I don't like it, boys. There you go, 4-0. Protan with a hat-trick on his full debut for the club. Right. Okay. I mean, he's obviously a little bit miffed at being asked for more when, you know, he's scored 3 goals already. Probably a tad confused by that shout, but honestly couldn't be bothered to exclude him from proceedings. Oh my word. Bit of a scramble. Nicolas Perez is a deep-lying forward. Protan is our sort of actually advanced forward, so he's the main spearhead sort of thing. Morin whips it in. Oh, keeper. Came a long way, but he claimed it well. Zé Lopez. Can he get one from a free kick? No. Ruffles the top of the net. Yeah, see, you shout at them, demand more, and all of a sudden, he wants us to try in the second half. But I cannot complain, generally speaking, about that performance. And to be fair, when they were on top, they weren't really doing anything with it, were they? So I suppose I'll let you off. But well done, boys. Good win. Positive individuals. Protan, I am delighted with your performance. You need to tell them when they get a 10 out of 10 that they've done pretty well. Oh, there we go. Top of the league. End the season now, boys. It's all done. We're clearly going to win the title. Oh, that will come back to bite me. Probably next game. But fans seem to be happy. Hopefully the players are happy after that. And it's been a good start. We've had good starts before. I know this. One swallow does not a summer make. But I think we can probably have a decent season this season. And then we need to find a way. I mean, really what we need to do is get this side into Europe so that we can get all that lovely European cash and wipe out the debt. That would be really useful. Anyway, I will march on with a bit of the season. I think we've got a cup game at a reasonable way into the season, so you might well see us come back for the cup, which we're expected to reach the latter stages of. So you watch us get someone like, F91 Dudelange or Swift Esperange, who are like the best 2 teams in the country. We'll get one of them in the second round, I'm positive. But thank you for joining me. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye for now.